Royal Rumble is traditionally the most exciting PLE of the WWE calendar, and this year's show is possibly the hardest to predict in a very long time. So join us now as we look at all the winners and losers of the WWE Royal Rumble 2026. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Our first match on the card is AJ Styles vs Gunther. Well, here we are. The final match of the legendary AJ Styles possibly awaits. It's been common knowledge for some time that AJ is retiring at some point this year, and it was known across social media sites such as X that AJ's WWE deal is set to expire in February of 2026. When the match was first announced, the vast majority of fans believed this to be a major swerve, and fans were right to think so, as there was no way on paper at least that AJ was retiring at the Rumble. However, when PW Insider reported that AJ was set to finish up before WrestleMania 42 and AJ had given WWE the Rumble as one of his retirement options, then this led to concern that WWE were indeed going to have AJ retire at the Rumble itself. Is it possible that this entire thing is one giant work? Well, of course it is. It's wrestling. In the era of WWE Unreal, we can't rule this out. Shinsuke Nakamura mysteriously posting on his Instagram story that AJ was retiring felt extremely sus, and the fact that it was kept up for a number of hours was even weirder. It was almost as if WWE wanted the post to attract buzz on social media before Shinsuke ultimately deleted the post 6 hours later, just enough time for it to get out and then cause more speculation. There is the possibility that this match ends in a no contest or a disqualification. This would allow the two to run it back at WrestleMania and give AJ the send-off he truly deserves. It does seem odd that AJ isn't wrestling at WrestleMania, but if this is his choice, then fans have to respect it. It's been widely rumored that AJ is finishing up with WWE, but he isn't finishing up his actual pro wrestling career. Just remember that AJ Styles said that Gunther wants to end his WWE career, so could he be going to TNA after? A brief run in TNA has been rumored, and fans continue to push the idea of him wrestling in AEW against the likes of Kenny Omega. But when it comes to Gunther, if he does defeat AJ at the Rumble, then we can logically assume that he'll wrestle Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. Gunther is already declared for the Rumble itself, and if he retires AJ and then enters a matchup, he could be the biggest heel in the world by the time he steps foot in the ring. WWE have been warned about how this match is presented, especially if AJ is indeed retiring. AJ is so beloved that the crowd is going to be very emotional during it and potentially angry if AJ loses. Placing this match at the start of the show may hinder the subsequent matches, and some fans may be expecting a huge swerve, and when that swerve never arrives and AJ actually does retire in the ring, the two Rumble matches may end up in trouble when it comes to crowd hostility. But our prediction? Gunther actually wins and AJ Styles retires from WWE. Next up is Drew McIntyre vs Sami Zayn for the world title. Drew McIntyre captured the WWE title a number of weeks ago on SmackDown, and to say that it's shaken up the main event scene would be a complete understatement. Fans quite rightly have been pushing for McIntyre to receive a reign with the title for some time. Now that he's champion, it would be extremely underwhelming if he dropped the title in just 3 weeks. However, WWE may wish to give the Saudi fans a huge celebratory moment, especially if AJ Styles is retiring. This would likely lean more towards Sami Zayn winning. Zayn has never won the world title in WWE, and this would be a history-making moment and would likely mean that Zayn walks into WrestleMania 42 as a defending champion. However, from WWE's perspective, it really makes more sense to continue the positive momentum of McIntyre's reign, and it's looking like Zayn takes a Claymore and a pinfall loss at the Rumble this coming weekend. As our prediction, Drew McIntyre retains the WWE title. Next up is the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, the build to the Women's Royal Rumble this year has left a lot to be desired. The match has been a total afterthought, and it's almost as if WWE forgot that the match was even happening until a week ago. Nevertheless, WWE has so many talented names on the women's roster that for the 2026 winner, they have a number of options. But before discussing the potential winner of the match, it's kind of important to take a look at the possible returns fans could see in the match itself. One name that is likely is Paige. Paige hasn't ruled out a WWE comeback, and she was recently seen training for an in-ring return. Another huge return could be Brie Bella. Brie has wanted a WWE return for some time now, and she was even initially set to work SummerSlam last year until WWE cancelled those plans. It's also likely that legends are brought in for this Rumble, so we can't rule out names such as Trish Stratus and Lita. But when it comes to the winner of the match, the WWE has a number of strong options. The first being Liv Morgan. As things stand, Liv Morgan is the favourite to win the Women's Royal Rumble this weekend. Morgan has never won the annual matchup, but she remains one of the most popular acts in the entire company. If Morgan does indeed win the match, this opens the door for her to challenge Stephanie Becker. Or if WWE want to go with the wild women's world title scene, they could easily deliver a match between Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. The second is Bianca Belair. Now currently it's unknown if the former WrestleMania main eventer has been medically cleared for the Royal Rumble, but she is the second favorite to win right now. Belair has been out of action with a serious hand injury, and hopefully she's able to get medically cleared in time for the Rumble. Belair is badly missed within the women's division. Fans are calling on her to return, win the match, and dethrone Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42. There's also AJ Lee. AJ Lee is bound to return within the Royal Rumble match itself, and we really can't rule out her winning due to her immense popularity. The only thing that suggests AJ won't win is the fact that she's still yet to face Becky Lynch, and AJ vs Lynch is reportedly one of the matches that is locked in for WrestleMania in April, with the title presumably being on the line. And there's also Io Sky or Rhea Ripley. There has been some speculation on social media that WWE could position Io Sky vs Rhea Ripley as a WrestleMania main event this year. There's no denying that the two are among the most popular names on the main roster, so this is a sensible call. How would WWE get to this match though, and how would one of them win a world title before WrestleMania? Well, all it would take is one of them winning the Rumble and one of them winning the Chamber for the title, and then WWE set for a huge collision in one of the main events at the biggest show of the calendar year. But as for our final prediction though, we see Liv Morgan winning the Women's Royal Rumble, and now it's time for the Men's Royal Rumble. But when Drew McIntyre captured the WWE title, this sent WrestleMania plans into a state of flux. The planned Roman Reigns vs Cody Rhodes WWE title match was cancelled, and new creative plans were then drafted up. The reason for the cancellation was due to creative differences between Reigns and Rhodes, as well as Triple H wanting to avoid a repetitive match for WrestleMania 42. Now, it was originally reported that Reigns was planned to win the Men's Royal Rumble, and based on speculation and reports, it does appear that this is still the case. If Reigns wins the match, then this opens the door for him to face CM Punk for the world title or McIntyre for the WWE title. When it comes to a match versus Punk, the chemistry between the two is palpable, but this babyface versus babyface dynamic may be one that WWE wants to avoid. With that being said, their segments are certified draws, so this is ultimately what WWE should focus on, rather than the match being a hindrance to one of their babyface statuses. In relation to the McIntyre matchup, this is possibly the easiest match in the world to book. There's a ton of established history and lore between the two names, and McIntyre could even directly challenge Reigns to pick him at WrestleMania. McIntyre has never defeated Reigns in singles competition, and the heel champion going to WrestleMania with a redemption arc is something that WWE has never explored, so it's definitely one of the more exciting options they have at their disposal right now. Both of these are sensible options, but this leaves names such as Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Braun Breaker without concrete plans for the biggest show of the year, so it's possible that they're going to deliver the swerve of all swerves. Now, if WWE doesn't go with Roman Reigns winning the match, then the next best option is Braun Breaker. Breaker is destined for greatness in WWE, and it appears that WWE are planting the seeds for WrestleMania 42 to be his crowning moment. WWE is also delivering an angle which sees Breaker having support from a higher up in WWE, and a lot of fans believe that this is The Rock. If this is indeed the final boss, it'll be interesting to see how this plays into the match itself, as The Rock could make his presence felt and assist Breaker in some way, shape or form. Additionally, the idea of The Rock screwing Reigns out of the match and assisting Breaker then opens the door for The Rock vs Reigns' dream match, potentially at WrestleMania next year in Saudi Arabia. If Breaker does come out of the match victorious, then we're likely looking at a rematch between him and Punk for the world title at WrestleMania. If this occurs, it's likely going to lead to at least some moderate criticism. WWE's approach of having the Rumble winner lose a world title match just before the Rumble was used last year, and it didn't exactly go down well. Triple H seems to enjoy this booking approach, but doing it in consecutive years may be predictable, and it may lead to accusations that the game has completely run fresh out of ideas, even though that's crossed probably a lot of fans' minds lately. But the X factor in the match is of course Cody Rhodes. Rhodes is entering the match in an attempt to win a third Rumble, and based on his booking as of late, he is to be considered one of the favorites. Rhodes has become a reignited character on WWE television since dropping the title, and it's evident that the American Nightmare delivers his finest work when he's chasing a world title. Rhodes winning the Rumble again may lead to some fans turning on him, and if WWE is insistent on having Reigns in a WWE title match on the grand stage, then the Elimination Chamber is probably the safest bet there. So what about when it comes to what names we could likely see in the match? Surprises are reportedly planned, and due to the show taking place in Saudi Arabia, huge names from the Attitude Era can't be dismissed. So The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and even Shane McMahon are all options. WWE may also use names from TNA due to their positive working relationship, so we may be looking at names such as Dolph Ziggler and Santino Marella. There is also the huge rumors of Chris Jericho returning in the Rumble itself, making probably one of the biggest moments in Rumble history. What if WWE swerves this completely and has Chris Jericho win the Rumble itself, coming in at number 30? Now, whatever WWE has planned for the Men's Rumble, this is bound to be one of the most exciting and potentially controversial Rumble matches in recent memory, and it's looking increasingly likely that Roman Reigns comes out victorious in the match itself. At our final prediction, Roman Reigns wins the Men's Royal Rumble match. But there you have it, folks. What are your predictions? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.